my next guest is a Seattle author, Stephanie Kuehnert. Her new book, Pieces of a Girl, is a raw and bold memoir about the messiness of growing up and then making yourself whole again after trauma. Welcome to New Day. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
This has been something I've been talking a lot about with my female friends, is kind of getting over those traumas of childhood and then growing out of those ways of living. But I have to say, from one 90s teen to another, I love all the 90s music and references to pop culture. It's such a fun read. I have to say that.
Thank you.
Did you listen to a lot of 90s music while writing this?
I did. I did go back to the 90s music, especially the Riot Girl music, like Bikini Kill, Slater Kenny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like cool stuff.
Yes, yes.
So Pieces of You, it is laid out in a variety of narrative styles, which I think is really interesting, including like journaling and doodling. Did you keep a diary as a teen? Is that like kind of where the inspiration came from?
Yeah, I did keep a diary. In fact, so the first page of the book here has my diary from when I was 7 years old. And so
right there.
Yeah, right there. And so it says it's a Ramona and Beezus diary. I loved the Ramona books. And it says, if I could write a book when I grew up, this is what it would be about. Me and my life. So that was the aspiration, apparently, all the way back when I was 7. But
so 7-year-old you would be really proud right now.
7-year-old me would be extremely proud right now. And then, yeah, I had a whole, I have like a giant Tupperware in my attic with all my like teenage and early 20s journals.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you described yourself as an adolescent as extremely destructive. How did straight A Stephanie, as you called yourself, veer in the wrong direction?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think part of that was just in the 90s, we didn't talk as much about mental health the way we do now. And so I was, 13 years old, 12, 13 years old, and I was, feeling depression. I was feeling anxiety and all of that. And I had kind of no outlets for it. I didn't really feel like I belonged. It was a whole thing. So it was in gradual sort of steps. Like so part of the book is that I start hanging out at this cool park, and I think if I had just hung out at the park, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But then I met the boys.
Boys. Never good
Yeah,
news.
Exactly.
So was writing this a source of healing for you?
Yes, it absolutely was. It actually took 10 years from when I sold the book to now, when it's coming out.
Really?
Yeah, so it was kind of, because it's this zine-style memoir, the publisher and I, and because it's a story about, trauma and survival, they really wanted to get it right. So it was helpful for me because I was able to go to a lot of therapy.
Amen. I mean, I got therapy later today. Let's talk about it.
That's right. That's right.
It's so important. It is. In the 90s, it was very hard, but there were artists who were kind of, getting that out. And especially we think about our local artist, Kurt Cobain, had a huge impact on you. You decided to visit Seattle on the 10-year anniversary of his death, and then you fell in love with the city. So how did that journey change you?
Yeah, so Kurt Cobain died by suicide when I was 14, when I was a freshman in high school, and that was it had a huge emotional impact on me. And kind of shaped my own journey. Yeah. So then I was 24 and in grad school, and I'd met some girlfriends online who were also big fans, and we were like, yeah, let's go out to Seattle. So so we did, and it was one of those beautiful points in spring that we sometimes get here.
Right. It's how they always get you here.
It's how they get you. It really is. But I was just in a place where I'd been doing my own work and trauma recovery and all of that, where I was ready to come kind of full circle in my own journey. So it was really kind of nice being here, being at Veretta Park, which is where a lot of Nirvana fans go. Yeah. Just really brought me full circle.
And you decided, I'm going to live here now.
Yeah, so I was in grad school, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go there after grad school. I'm gonna move there. But then I met I met my now husband 6 months later. So I was stuck in Chicago for a few more years.
So you slowly made your way here, though.
I slowly made my way.
And I'm glad because it's such a great place. I think about Kurt Cobain. I think about some of these great artists who we lose too soon because there's so much suffering. Do you think that suffering is a huge contributor to creativity?
So that was the mythology that I grew up with, that you had to suffer for your art, you know, like there's a Bikini Kill song that I quote that's about Sylvia Plath is taught to all girls who write because to be a girl poet means you have to die.
Kill yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no. But really writing this book and kind of going through my own whole writing and healing process, I really realized that that art is about healing. It's about, you know, like pulling that trauma out of you. Like, I don't think I don't think it goes hand in hand. I love reading like books that are, you know, people who are just reveling in their joy. Too. Yeah. Like there's just as much story there.
I love it.
Yes.
Well, that answers my next question because I was going to ask where you find inspiration, and I guess it's in getting it out and finding the joy.
Yeah, getting out and finding the joy, and I find so much inspiration in youth, in particular.
That's so great. Thank you so much, Stephanie. It was such a great time talking to you, and I'm really excited for everyone to read this book. Stephanie will, by the way, be celebrating the launch of Pieces of a Girl at Third Place Books, Seward Park, tonight, Thursday, March 28th at 7 p.m. So tonight at 7, go check it out.